All right, traders, today we are going to be looking at some of the pound pairs. A lot of the pound pairs seem like they have good opportunities for some good trade setups. So we want to take a look at those pound pairs, see what we can do, see if we can get into a good trade. So let's start looking at those pound pairs right now. All right, traders, before I get started, I would like to give praise and honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and thank him for just giving me an opportunity to be here today with you guys, being able to speak to you, being able to deliver this word and message to you, be it the word and also this trading. All right, so I want to give honor and praise to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And in doing so, I want to just say that 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15 states, study to show thyself approved unto God. Okay, so the rendering study to show thyself approved unto God is found only in the King James Version, translated in the year 1611. All right, in 1611, the word study meant strive or be diligent. The New International Version today, all right, says do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a workman who does not need to be ashamed and who correctly handles the word of truth. Paul wanted Timothy to understand that to be a workman he wanted Timothy to understand that he needed to be a workman that God could approve. He would have to be diligent in his service to God. All right, so strive. So the word study didn't necessarily mean to study the Bible. It did mean that, but also it meant to strive. So if you strive, naturally you're going to study and be diligent. So what I challenge you today with, are you striving? Are you being diligent in your service and worship to God? Are you giving him your all? Are you striving? So when that day comes, are you going to be able to be proudly represented on the stand and say, I gave my best to you, Lord? I challenge you to start giving your best to God today. All right, because you never know when your last day is, and you want to be able to say, I gave my all, and I know that what I've done for the Lord, I've done with diligence. All right. So guys, thank you. I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to do this and give you this quick word. So I know you're waiting for the charts, so let's get to your charts. So we want to look at those and see what we got going on, because I think there's some good trade opportunities coming up for this coming week, especially if you're using Ichimoku. You're going to be able to see some trade setups developing here. All right, so what I'm looking at first of all is the pound. I'm looking at the pound Aussie. So the pound Aussie dollar, basically you could see I have this nice zone here. You could see how price is honoring that zone right now, but you also could see how price honored this Kijinsen before. So the market, first of all, was in a nice uptrend here. We broke these bear fractals, and then the market came to the downside, found support at the cloud, and then moved up to resistance, basically. So we found support at the cloud, moved up to this resistance level of the Kijinsen. There we hit this level, and then the market dropped. So you could see we basically had these higher, we were making higher bull fractals. Now we made a lower bull fractal. So the next thing that we're looking at is the next lowest going to be another low bull fractal. All right, so more than likely, you could see we went from this 1, 2, 3, and then 4. This is kind of odd because that's kind of showing me that not necessarily, because we could be getting a 1, 2, 3 right here. So it would be the 1, 2, 3, and then the market moves to the downside where we would overall have that big 1, 2, 3 formation develop. Now, I'm thinking this resistance level is going to hold here. We have this whole level, and you also see the resistance of the Kijinsen. All right, so you can see that level there. The Kijinsen, the green line, is holding resistance of the market there. Also, we have the zone that we have. We're inside turbulence area, which is the cloud. So you pretty much have a resistance area there. Now this would be support overall, the big cloud. So it would be a major support area, but it's looking like we're starting to violate that. So the thing that you want to pay attention to is, yes, you have resistance with Kijinsen. So even though you have support with the cloud, you're having resistance with Dickinson and Kijinsen because you have a TK crossover that's bearish. Your future is now bearish, okay? So what's happening here is everything's starting to develop to become a bearish market. You could see that we have Chiku span bearish below price. Also, the RCI, I'm using this RCI. This RCI is really good at showing me the long term and the medium term and the short term direction of the market, strength of the market, so should I say, the trend or whatever. So we're looking at this trend. You could see the long-term trend is starting to become bearish. All right, so all up here we had a bullish trend. It started back here, and you could see once it was really strong, it stayed above this positive 80 level. It stayed up there. If you're in a trade, you pretty much know you could stay in that trade, okay? But sometime it'll get you in a little late and it'll get you out a little late. Again, these tools are not meant to be traded specifically on point, okay? Because you're not going to be on point with the market because it's too hard to do that. To be on point with the market, you have to know the market and be on point with the price action of the market. All right, so looking at this, you could see the strength of your trend, so you know which way you want to be trading. Basically, that's going to help you with that. But the thing here also is that now we can see this trend dying to the downside. So it's starting to become a bearish trend. And you could see the short term. So this is the longer term indication, this green line. The red one is the shorter term. So the short term is telling me basically we're kind of like in a correction. All right, so I want to see this correction end. So if this candle stays as is, well, it is because the market's closed now. But what you would look for now is basically when price violates this level, if we get the next candle open and then close lower than this level, doesn't violate this upper level, we pretty much know this is where we're going to start looking for our entry. I want to see it close below this level. Now, I could wait even longer and get the Kumo breakout. We'll have every sign bearish on Ichimoku at that point. So you could wait for your Kumo breakout. Boom. You'll have the market drop to the downside. Now, we're holding resistance here. Doesn't mean that when the next candle opens, so it can open and then still climb to this upper resistance level, even to the flat Kijinsen up here, because you still have this zone here. But but pretty much if I see the market drop down below this level and close, I'm pretty much thinking the market is moving to the downside. The correction's over and we're starting this new trend to the downside that already started. Then you're going to get that Kumo breakout. That's also a good opportunity to trade this to the downside at that point. So all signs on Ichimoku will be bearish at that point if we get a Kumo breakout. Let's go to a higher time frame. Look at that. So when we look at the higher time frame here, on the higher time frame here, I don't have a clear direction. I pretty much would think overall this might be a bullish market on the monthly time frame. Not even thinking about Ichimoku really, right? There's some really strong levels here where the market is bouncing off of and may not go much lower. So that breakout may not get too far. Now let's mark some levels because we're talking about a monthly time frame here. Let's mark this monthly cloud and then go back and see where it is basically, and then we'll understand what the market may be doing here. Also, let's mark this next level. I'm going to mark these levels because I want to be able to see, like, here's the Kijinsen level for the monthly. So if we go back to the daily, that would be this level and this level. So that would show me that we may have a hard time getting through this lower level here. All right. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't, because the direction here is not clear. It is a clear trend to the upside. And based off of everything that I look at on the daily on the monthly time frame, I would be looking for this thing to be going long eventually. And that could happen. Your future just turned bright. You're flat though. All right. So, and we did break this level here. So we still could see this drop a little bit, but this may end up being overall a bullish market on the monthly time frame, it looks like. Okay. So looking at this daily, Still be able to get your trade in. If you could trade down to this level, you would still make some pretty good profit. So even saying we get from there, that's a good 240 pip trade at least to that point. Okay, so that's what we're looking at with the pound Aussie. Let's move to the next one, which is going to be pound CAD. So pound CAD, I'm gonna go straight to the monthly right off the bat. So the monthly, you could see, first of all, not in love with Ichimoku on the monthly here, but so let's take it off because we could understand the market. We could see the structure of the market. Let's hide it. So looking at the structure of the market, you can see we flattened out here. So we also have some very strong levels that we should pay attention to. I'm going to mark this level first. All right, and actually I'm going to try to draw this into a zone since I see some things here. Let's draw this into a zone. All right, let's go here like this. Let's move this up to that body when we're at these tops, false breakout. So what we have is hitting the top, false break, bull trap, top, top, and then the rejection. If this falls, guys, this could possibly fall way down back to here, which would be, let's move this here too. And I would make this into a zone also, really. This really should be a zone, so I'm going to make it into a zone. And we're looking at the market sitting at this zone here. So we, again, see a market that has some nice levels to look at where we could probably look for the market to drop to. So this pound CAD rejection here was big, and we just barely closed maybe or right below this level. I'm thinking this has the possibility of moving all the way back down to this level here. So this pound CAD could be a strong one, a very strong one to the downside. All right, so let's go back to the daily. Let's put Ichimoku back on here at this point. Looking at that, you get that Kumo breakout. You also could see that we are holding resistance of the Kijinsen, not the Kijinsen, sorry, the Tenkan-sen, and we don't have anything to show us that it's getting weaker. All right, as far as the level. You got a TK crossover that's bearish, Chico span is bearish, prices just inside the cloud getting ready to break out. You got a future that's bearish. You want to see this market break out of the cloud, definitely going to take that Kumo breakout at that point. That's a good trade to the downside. All right, and your target is going to be all the way back down to this yellow zone. This trade possibly, guys, could yield some nice profit. Looking at the market moving a good almost 1,000 pips here, but it's about 955. All right, so that Kumo breakout just from this point is about 955. So getting that Kumo breakout, probably depending on where it breaks out, we're looking at least 800, right? So I think this could be a good opportunity for us. Let's move to the next. Okay, also, yeah, let's look at RCI real quick. RCI is showing a strong trend to the downside, very strong. This trend just dropped off. It's bearish to the max and heading down. As long as we go down and you see this thing break below this negative 80 level and stay there, your trend is pretty strong to the downside, and you should be able to follow it out that way. All right, so let's look now at the pound Swiss franc. This pound Swiss franc, again, very strong to the downside. Let's go to the monthly time frame. Guys, you know what? I never look at this monthly time frame, but so many people are asking me to look at the monthly time frame. Well, not so many, but a couple traders. And it does give you the bigger picture of the market, just like the daily gives me a bigger picture of the market than the hourly time frame, right? So the monthly is going to give me also another big picture of the market. So let's hide this because, again, we have some strong levels. I want to mark this level down. Oh, this was an alert. I'm going to cross it out. I can put it back another day, another time, another hour later. But anyway, here's a nice support level down here at about 1.20222. That's going to be your strong support and resistance level. Well, your strong support level. This is going to be your strong resistance level. And actually, I'm going to make this into a zone. Watch this. Watch this zone. this is where we're going to be. I'm going to put this at the bottom of this level. I'm at the bottom. I'm touching this base right here. And then I want to be touching this base right here. All right. And we barely touched here. I'm going to keep it just like that. And I know this is a good level. I'm going to make this also into a zone. I'm just including wicks because the market's been there, done that. So we want to mark those. That way you know where the market potential is. And when you make a support and resistance level, it's not just the level, it's a zone, an area. Now this is a big area, but you could see it's been rejected, and you could see the market never closed inside that zone, but it never closed lower than that zone also. So therefore I make it into a zone. Again, looking at the market quite possibly dropping all the way down to this level right here. Good possibility that we see the market drop down to that level if we're looking at the monthly time frame. But when we go back to the daily, you're going to get some nice moves up to and down and up and down. Going to cause you to get out of the market. You're not going to have faith to trade this all the way down to this point. You're not going to have the confidence and the faith to do that. Plus, the market may not do that. Okay, it may not do exactly what I say. Now, let's put Ichimoku back. Here you can see I'm looking at a breakout possibility. I'm already in this trade, all right? I've been in this trade since the break up here, and now I'm looking at a Kumo breakout. If you get this Kumo breakout, you have TK crossover bearish, Chiku spans bearish, future is bearish, and price is bearish. This is a fourfold bearish market based on Ichimoku, and you want to see this thing drop all the way back down to this level quite possibly. All right, very good opportunity here. All right, so that's what I'm looking at here. Now, if the market pushes up a little bit higher, it's found resistance at Tinkinson. I don't believe it will move higher than 126,871. It could, but I don't believe it will. All right, so I think we're starting our descending move to the downside now. So we're probably looking at this Kumo breakout developing on the next day of the market open and close of the next candle, quite possibly. But watch for the breakout because that's going to be your entry, your trade, Kumo breakout. Kumo breakout trade. All right, so let's look at the pound New Zealand dollar. This is the pound New Zealand dollar. Not in love with this one as much as the others, okay? Let's go straight to the monthly. And pretty much this one looks like a possible bounce and move to the upside. Still could move a little lower. I'm going to mark this level and move it down to the Kijinsen level. So there's a possibility of a little bit movement to the downside. This monthly trend is starting to show strength, very strong strength to the upside. The daily is coming off, it's laying on the 80 and maybe coming off the bottom. This was the level that I just made here from the monthly time frame. As you can see, that's going to be the bottom support level here. That's it right there. All right. So when we go back to the daily, you could see 193,511. Don't know if the market's going to get back there, but we could possibly see this move high. Now, based on the daily, we're still bearish, all right? But this is why I drew the level, because we're bearish and we could possibly see the market move down to this level here at 193,511. And then at that point, we may see the market move higher. You could see this level is a good level of support and resistance. Look at it. You could see resistance here, support here. Was support here. This is a zone. I didn't make it into a zone. I just made it into a quick level. You can see where this level is, but you can see it's basically a zone. So a strong level, if the market comes back to this point, be careful at that point. You have a hard time getting through that point. Thinking we may continue this move to the upside. Ichimoku on this daily time frame is bearish though. So we want to keep that in mind. All right, so looking at that, we still show strength to the downside with the RCI. So still showing strong strength to the downside. All right, so that's the pound New Zealand dollar. Let's now look at the pound yen. So we're on the pound yen and we're going to get to the pound US dollar and we're going to be done. We're going to go to the pound US dollar and we're outie 5,000. Again, look at this market now. You have a nice rejection at this level. Basically, we're rejecting this Kijinsen level, even though we're slightly above it with the previous candles above it. This also will be like It doesn't look like a bear trap. I mean, a bull trap per se. All right. But everything is bearish on Ichimoku. So you got a TK crossover that's bearish. I don't love Ichimoku right now with this pair because we were flat right here for a while. All right. But you can see we're below price. Chiku span's below price. TK crossover is bearish. Future is dark. And all you need to see if the market move lower. I'm going to mark this level as our daily, our monthly Kijinsen, which I don't believe matters much to us. And then this level here, this is the level where we want to see the market get through, where we're probably going to be looking at a good short move all the way back down to this level down here, which is going to be 128.075. Let's go to the daily. So if we get through this point, this is the point where we were talking about this whole zone right here. If we get through there, we're going to see this market drop to the downside even farther. Again, you'll be looking for the same things. Now, Chiku span is still above price. All right, Chiku span's just above price. TK crossover is bearish. Future is bearish. Chiku span is above price slightly, and price is still above the cloud. So you got mixed signals, but you're bouncing off of Kijinsen. Kijinsen is holding resistance on this point. You had a nice railroad track here. This is actually, I'm going to give this a, I'm not going to give this a bearish engulfing. All right, so we're inside the box. We're boxed in. Also, still showing strong trend to the upside. Still showing that. So just because we have these two things doesn't mean we're going to see that. But I see this TK crossover in the market being held with this level here by price. So that's one sign that we could possibly see the market start back to the downside. I got a lower bull fractal. See, this was the high. This is the low. If I go look at divergence at this point, let's see if we have any. I'm using the ultimate oscillator. Ultimate oscillator is showing me not really showing divergence. All right. So we are finding resistance at this point. I'm not prone to do much right now. Okay, I can wait on this. I like the other pairs a little bit better. I like the other ones that we looked at previously a little better. Yes, definitely. We are starting to see the weakness though, because you got a low bull fractal. And then you've got a TK crossover that's bearish in price, failing to violate the Kijinsen. So good signs. Future just turned dark. Chiku span still above price. We need to see that break back to the downside. All right. So I think we're going to see this change, or we may range up here for a little while because we're coming off of a good, strong trend. So we may see a good range up here for a little while. A lot of times you see that happen after a move to the upside or downside. You had a nice move to the upside here and the market flattened out here. Pretty much got into a P wave here. Then the market dropped. All right, so Ichimoku, this would be a nice P wave here because you have your extension and then the P, and then the market dropped to the downside. And if you had a Y wave, they usually develop on the bottom and it would open up to the top, open up to the right side. P waves open up on the left side. All right, and that's what you look at Ichimoku wise for as far as waves. Let's go to the last one, the pound US dollar. So pound US dollar, again, starting to show weakness pretty much like all these pound pairs are. Chiku span is below price on this. TK crossover is bearish. Your future is not bearish per se. And then you found resistance at this zone that I drew here. Also, that zone doesn't, even I'll take this zone away, but you found resistance at your Kijinsen. Look at that. And you had a bearish engulfing. So I definitely would have been looking to trade that to the downside with the bearish engulfing that closed today, though, which is the issue. So you had a bearish engulfing close on Friday off of the resistance of the Kijinsen. With the pound pair, these are some long moves, big moves. So having a stop loss way up at this Kijinsen will be pretty big. So that's one thing you want to think about if you take a trade at that point. Dang near 200 pips. Okay. So let's go to the monthly on that real quick. See what we got. Again, you found this looks also bearish on the monthly time frame. Very bearish. Now you're starting to change and become bullish. So you might have this bottom here because we had a nice double bottom pretty much. not a full double bottom, but this is a double bottom pretty much. Okay, because that's from October, more than a year there. That's a good while. So almost 2 years. So it looks like you got a double bottom coming off of it. So you may be starting to see that trend to the upside. Now this may drop a little bit, but you still, I don't think it will get back to this level here at 121,398. So you may see a slight drop and then the market attempt to move higher as it comes off of this bottom of a previous move to the downside. Now, everything's still bearish, so we could still count on what we see on the chart. Don't try to guess the move. Don't try to guess what the market's going to do. Just trade what you see. If you lose based off of what you see on the chart. If you keep trading what you see on the chart, you're going to be right more than not. More than you're not. And the thing is getting in at a good spot, getting in at the right spot. All right, that's why I tell you to trade LST, level, signal, trigger. So my level here will be Kijinsen. We got a TK crossover that's bearish. We're bouncing on the cloud and Kijinsen. I think a close below this candle would be a very good entry on the monthly time frame. So when I go back to the daily, we know everything's bearish. We had a nice we had a nice bearish engulfing candle, which is a nice entry for us there, and the market moved to the downside. Now we're still showing the strong bullish move to the upside, but it's starting to come off. It's starting to lose some of that strength, okay? So also you can wait on this and get a Kumo breakout. All right, so you get another Kumo breakout with the market here, and we can fight this all the way down to this level quite possibly. All right, so that's what I'm looking at with the pound pairs. Pretty much all we got there. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Just some basic Ichimoku trading. Hopefully it helps you, and till next time, have a great one. God bless. So long.